How's it going today? It's Thomas Steed. I just picked up the redwing slate muleskinners. I did a short on them real quick before I do this video. I'm going to be applying obenaufs to the one that I've already removed the laces from, and then gonna compare the two after they're conditioned up. Now I use preferably I use the Obenauf's Heavy LP. It's got a higher wax content to it, so it's a little bit more of a protectant, and I really like the way that it is with my boots. Gives good water protection, and I like my leathers a little darker and a little more protected. So some people are probably going to cringe while I do this, but it's okay. They're not your boots. They're mine. Yeah, it's gonna look fantastic. Already liking the way it's doing. Now, as I've said before, this is the way that I like to take care of my stuff when I get boots. I really like the obenaufs. Some people, this might not be your option. Maybe you don't like your leathers to be darkened up as much as myself or some other people, and that's perfectly fine. It's your boots. You treat them the way you want them. You spent the money. You do it. Do what you want. If you want to use a kind of a silicone-based spray-on protectant for suedes, that works perfectly fine with these as well. But with this being a rough-out leather, there's no reason to not use obenaufs if you want to. Typically suedes don't do as well with it. Not sure exactly if it has to do with just the way that suede is manufactured and treated. If it makes it so that the leather is weaker or anything. I'm not an expert on it by any means. I just know that rough out leathers can take to being conditioned with other products a little bit better. Back in the day, the military boots, they used to use dubbin, whatever, I guess. Essentially kind of a really similar product to what I'm using the obenaufs, but it's a little bit different. I've seen people make their own dubbin on YouTube. It's for what would be the actual correct way to do it. I don't know. I'd probably just buy it from a company that produces it if I was to do that. But I like obenaufs, so I just am not gonna worry about all that. Not my bag. holes. I'm trying to do a good job, but also go relatively quick so I'm not taking everybody's time here. I mean, nobody wants to sit and watch me spend all day conditioning my shoes. I mean, they're nice shoes. I mean, I could watch me condition them all day, but, you know, that's just me, because it's my shoes. Maybe I couldn't watch me doing it all day. It would probably drive me nuts, honestly. I'm joking. But I'm not doing the greatest job showing you guys me actually doing it. I mean, you can see what I'm doing, obviously, but this one's definitely not my best conditioning example video. I've got some other ones that have shown the process that I'd probably recommend a little bit better, that I go into detail a little bit better, probably with the Chelsea muleskinners or my Franks. Yeah, this is beautiful. Really like the way that it's darkening these up just right for me. I'm already hitting the 10-minute mark. All right. Yeah, I realize this video is not best quality, but I think you can definitely see it's a little darker. Nothing crazy. I'm actually really happy with it. Now I'm gonna take the old suede brush here. Really make sure that I get that worked into that nap. This nylon brush a little bit better. Oh, nice. I think I might actually even add a little bit more. Like I've said before, I like to use the suede brush after I've applied the obenaufs to really work it in to the nap, just because it's a little bit stiffer than just the dauber, so it really moves around that little bit of fuzziness to the suede. It really allows me to let the waxes penetrate the leather. As you can see, even compared to where it was just a minute ago, it looks a little bit different. So I'm gonna cut the video off right here, I think, and you guys will see updates of them later after I've gotten them fully done. But that's the basic process. I mean, you can see it's lightly darkened them up, not something way too extensive. I'm really happy with it. I'm glad that I chose to do it now with these ones rather than waiting and starting to develop any kind of uneven patina or anything like that before starting it. Like I already kind of started out with the Chelseas. The Chelseas had already kind of had a little bit of color on them to begin with. My bottom, I'm still perfectly happy with those, with my Chelseas. I'm wearing them right now, but this one I wanted to jump out of the box, get to it, just get it done. Okay, maybe I'm lying. I'm just gonna keep going. This is actually going really fast with this second The second once over. I gotta say, I love redwing boots. I really do. The heritage collections, obviously. There's a couple of really good boots in their work line as well. But you get what you pay for, so I, myself, will always advise you to look for a nice handmade boot that's going to be resolable. So you're going to want Goodyear welted. These are obviously a 360 welt. It's the same as the my Chelsea's. My Franks are a top down stitch down, however you want to say that. So rather than there being a welt, the leather is directly sewed right down on those ones. But this isn't a video about teaching everybody about welt construction and stuff like that. You got plenty of resources out there at your disposal to understand welt construction. You know, even aside from me talking about my own boots, there's plenty of great guys out there that probably will give you a much better overall understanding of those types of construction, all of that. There's even cobblers that themselves have YouTube channels. There's that Cobblers Plus channel. There's Trenton Heath. There's several of them. Maybe it's Cobbler's Corner. I don't remember. He does a lot of resoles. Seems like an alright guy. Never really had any direct interaction with him. But aside from them, there's other guys out there who are boot enthusiasts that are fantastic resources as well, such as the Stridewise channel. There's CJ Cook. You want to talk about a guy who loves his Red Wings. That's a man that loves his Red Wings. Alright. And then once again, suede brush. Go back over everything. Work those conditioning and waxes into that mat real good. Massage it. this doesn't really scratch the leather. I mean, if it does, I mean, it's on the flesh side and it's all fuzzy anyways. It's not like I'm removing any material. All I'm really doing is making sure that those waxes are being evenly distributed into the nap. Kind of helps with spots that seem maybe a little bit darker than others, or any of that. Gives the boot a little bit more of a uniformity. All right, and boom. I like it. All right. Well, thank you for your time. I've just wasted 23 of your minutes. Like, share, subscribe. You're a trooper if you made it to the end of the video.